So can you just tell me about how Save a Dog started and when?
We started Save a Dog in 1999. We actually incorporated in 1999. In 2004, the Department of Agriculture said, well, now we want you to have a quarantine facility, and we're approved to do this out of our house. So we had the quarantine room in our house. That was an interesting situation, not only for me as the president of Save a Dog, but also for my family. And, it came to a point where we really had to get our own place, like a shelter. And one of the reasons is not only just to save my family from constant, just having a kennel run out, a humane society running out of the house, but also to afford people the opportunity to volunteer.
After nearly 10 years of running Save a Dog out of the founder's home, they now have a property from which to show their dogs, including a kennel with 13 runs and a puppy room.
It's been win-win, really. And it's actually been so great. I can't tell you, for the first 3 years we were here, every morning I woke up just thankful that I didn't have to get up to let the dogs out, because we have openers.
25 dogs out.
Yeah, I used to be the opener, and my husband used to be the closer, because he's a night person.
While they still maintain a strong network of volunteer foster providers so that they may evaluate the dogs in a home setting, they have a place in which they can show them to potential adopters on an ongoing basis. The new building consists of a meet and greet room with comfy sofas, a retail area where new dog owners can purchase supplies, a reception area, and an office where they can conduct dog adoptions.
So now, we have a group of openers, they work in teams, and we have a group of closers, and they work in teams. They're the last ones to let the dogs out at night. And it just works out great, and we have a person that coordinates it, Nancy Diesner, and she always saves me from having to come over here. If nobody can do it, she'll come over, and she'll do it. And we have a new member of our team, Cassandra Rowan, who is a graduate of Mount Ida, the animal behavior program. So she's sort of our in-house trainer, and she works with the dogs, and especially any dogs with issues. She'll work with them, and she also fosters. All of us foster. So it's great. You make that connection with the dog, and you just can't bear to leave him in the shelter, So when a dog comes in to Save a Dog, we have a very small window in which to prepare them for adoption. And to work with the shy dogs, to work with the scaredy dogs, get them so they'll come to the front of the kennel, teach them targeting, hand targeting, because people will put a hand out, and so forth, and get the volunteers trained. There's so many benefits to being a volunteer. They give so much, and we don't pay them. So I feel the least we can do is do this win-win tactic where we train them to train the dogs. They learn this dog training they can carry home to their own dogs, but also it helps them to take apart and to be more productive when they're here, to prepare a dog for adoption and have everybody on the same page that, okay, we got this dog on a Monday, we got till Saturday to get this dog ready, to come up to the front of the kennel, to greet people nicely, not to jump on them, and to sit and so forth. So it's we can save more lives if we prepare these dogs that we have for adoption faster and get them ready for the real world.
When Shirley said we all foster, she wasn't kidding. I've been volunteering with the organization for nearly a decade now, and over the past several weeks I've taken in a foster myself, Oliver, a golden retriever collie mix who I first met at 10 days old. He was abandoned under a shed in West Virginia, and I remember Shirley and I tube feeding him in our kitchen. He was adopted out at 10 weeks and lived with the family for the first 2 years of his life. Recently he was relinquished for behavioral problems, and I now have him in my home with me.
But we have probably a very strong core group of volunteers of probably at least 30 or 40 that are dedicated. Like I said, the openers, they come in teams, so the openers will come at 7 in the morning, and they do it every other week, so say every other Tuesday they would be opening. And they get to know their team members. And it's just an amazingly dedicated group of people that will come out in the snow, the hail, the holidays, because, even if we have Thanksgiving, these dogs don't know it's Thanksgiving. They still have to eat and be cared for. So we have a rotating staff on Thanksgiving and different days, when we need to give the staff a break too. Staff usually works long hours and nobody's really paid that great. So, but the volunteer community is amazing. And also people who want to give back to the community, and maybe people who might have bought their purebred dog and they're just got an education about, gosh, there's all these lives being wasted while we're going to a store to buy our dogs or buying a dog from a breeder, and so it's afforded them a chance to give back, plus then adopt a rescue dog, and to see these dogs, they just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's nothing that they did to deserve this. So, we take it seriously. We screen the adopters well. We screen the dogs coming in. We don't want to send home any aggressive dogs or biters or whatever. So we do the temperament test, and we get to know them pretty well here. And then we also screen the adopters. They have to fill out an application. We have a binding adoption contract that forbids them to let the dog go running free. They always have to wear our Save a Dog ID tag, so each dog has a unique number that goes into our database. But we also, coming in the door, we screen. And the way we do it is we just tell everybody we want to make the best match for both them and the dog. As soon as we put those new pictures up, we are flooded with people like, I want this dog, oh, I'm in love with them, and da-da-da-da, and so we say, we'll get your application in quickly, and then come to our meet and greet. We have meet and greet hours on the weekends. And we'll sometimes do private appointments too. But it works out better when they can bring the whole family, and then we can meet everybody and decide. We educate all our adopters going out. When we send a puppy home, they get a big packet of information. We educate everybody about how to use natural means of treatment that will save them money at the vet, but also end up with a healthier dog too. And it's a win-win. It really is. I think we have it down to a science now.
As the public adoption day came to a close, the selected families came back to the shelter to sign their adoption contracts. Save a Dog staff made sure to pose them in front of the fireplace for a family photo reflecting on new beginnings and commemorating a great life ahead for yet another Save a Dog.
And what's a foster flunky?
A foster flunky is someone who adopts their foster dog. Most of our foster flunkies have had the dog for at least a few weeks, and rather than disrupt the dog yet again, they will adopt the dog,
Little orphan Oliver Twist has found his forever home with me.